Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachahari Yamunatira Vanachahari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachahari Yamunatira Vanachahari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Sham Sundara Radha Sham Sundara Hare. Jaya Radhe Sham Radhe Sham Radhe Sham Jaya Radhe Sham. Jaya Kṛṣṇa Balaram, Kṛṣṇa Balaram, Kṛṣṇa Balaram, Jaya Kṛṣṇa Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vishwapad Paramahamsa Raghunatha Sota Sata Shishamachila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jaya Vishwapad Paramahamsa Raghunatha Sota Sata Shishamachila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki. Anantaguri Vaishnavrinda Ki. Shirup Si Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Jeev Gopala Bhatta Saraganath Sargosai Prabhu Ki. प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवजरी गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपा गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मैपुर धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की तुलसी महारानी भक्ति देवी की गंगे यमुना देवी की हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की श्री श्री गौनिताय की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल समवेत भक्त वृंद की all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, 9th chapter, text number 25. 25. Yānti deva-vratā devān. Pitṛn yānti pitṛ-vratāḥ. Bhūtāni yānti bhūtejyā. Yānti mad-yājino Yānti deva-vratā devān. Pitṛn yānti pitṛ-vratāḥ. Bhūtāni yānti bhūtejyā. Yānti mad-yājino Yānti deva-vratā devān. Pitṛn yānti pitṛ-vratāḥ. Bhūtāni yānti bhūtejyā. Yānti mad-yājino Matajis? Yānti, go, deva-vratā, worshippers of the demigods, devān, to the demigods, pitṛn, to the ancestors, yānti, go, pitṛ-vratāḥ, worship of ancestors, bhūtāni, to the ghosts and spirits, yānti, go, bhūta-ijyāḥ, worshippers of ghosts and spirits, yānti, go, mad-yājino, devotees, api, but, mam, unto me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Purport. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technically known as Darśa-paurṇamāsa. These are vividly described in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pitā planets by performing a specific yajña. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a Yakṣa, Rakṣa, or Piṣāca. Piṣāca worship is called black arts or black magic. The many men who practice this black art, and they think that it is spiritualism, but such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuṇṭha and Kṛṣṇaloka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas achieve the Pitā planets, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghostly planets, why can't the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Kṛṣṇa or Viṣṇu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Kṛṣṇa and Viṣṇu live. And because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even impersonalists fall down from the brahma-jyotir. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijanasatam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Ganta Radha Kanta Namastade Datta Ganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshari Vrishabhano Sade Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripat sindhubhyaiva cha padidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivajari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yānti deva-vratā devān yānti pitṛ-vratāḥ bhūtāni yānti bhūtejyā yānti mad-yājino. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So Krishna is very clearly explaining to Arjuna that whoever one will worship, that one may be able to go there. Certainly Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the original spiritual master also. giving perfect knowledge. At the same time, we have to also clearly understand the subject matter and what Kṛṣṇa is saying. Therefore, the spiritual master, like Srila Prabhupada, is giving an explanation also, so that one may be able to properly understand what Kṛṣṇa is saying. So basically, whatever Kṛṣṇa is saying, it is clear. So if one is worshipping demigods, he can go to the demigods. One is worshipping Kṛṣṇa, he can go to Kṛṣṇa. So this is the truth. That is the absolute truth. Very simple. At the same time, it is actually not so easy even to go to the planets of the demigods. Similarly, it's also not so easy to go to Kṛṣṇa's planet. There must be some qualification to go there. It is not simply by desiring something, and then even with only a little effort that one may be able to attain what one desires. Even in this world, for example, if one wants to go to America or to England, so simply desiring, oh, I want to go to America, that will not do. I want to go to Europe. So let me just also find out a little bit. So America has so many states, and the capital is Washington, D.C., and so on. We may even gain some knowledge and then think more about America and going there. But one needs some qualification. One has to have some money. Then one has to go to the embassy, and they will see. They will ask, why you want to go there? What you will do there? And then so many questions may be there. So if one is not able to explain, he cannot go. He cannot just go to the American embassy, okay, I want to go. So he'll ask, why you want to go, who is inviting you to go, what you will go there. You have money to go there, even if one wants to go only for a short while, what to speak of staying there. Two things are there: to go there and live there, and then simply going there for a visit, for vacation. But either one, you cannot do just by your wish. Even you may have some money, and you may already buy the ticket, but that is not sufficient. So similarly, if one wants to go to the planets of the demigods, Lord Indra, Lord Brahma, or Lord Shiva, or to speak of going to the spiritual world, to Vaikuṇṭha, to Vishnu's planet or Kṛṣṇa's planet, there must be some qualification. Even great saintly persons like the four Kumaras, and they want to go to Vaikuṇṭha, but they were stopped by Vajay and Vijay, the doorkeepers there. So they were powerful, the Kumaras, the great personalities. Of course, the pastime of the Lord is there. They were stopped by the doorkeepers. And then Vishnu had to come and telling the doorkeepers, fine, these are great personalities, they want to see me, fine, no problem. So some qualification is required. Even to go to the demigods, one has to worship the demigods, one has to be pious, one has to live a pious life, one must be in the mode of goodness. If one is in the mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and engaged in so many sinful activities, he will never be able to go to the planets of the demigods. Not so easy. So what to speak of going to Vaikuṇṭha or Kṛṣṇaloka. So, but as explained here, so if one is actually desiring to worship or the demigods and go to the planets of the demigods, he can go there. So provided he is pious and is following the Vedic literatures, and it is mentioned there what one has to do in order to go there. And if one is meditating on Lord Indra or Lord Brahma, then we may go, then somebody may go there. But as explained, he must be qualified. So similarly, one is also, but even that, of course, to go to the planet of the demigods, that is ultimately not the supreme destination. And those who worship the demigods, they are actually mostly having material desires, and they may not know actually what is the goal of life. The goal of life is to realize that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, and that we belong to the spiritual world, either Vaikuṇṭha or Kṛṣṇaloka. And the goal is to go to Vaikuṇṭha or Kṛṣṇaloka according to one's constitutional position. So some may be Vaikuṇṭha bhaktas and some may be bhaktas of Kṛṣṇa in Golok. That is already there, not that we can choose, I want to go to Vaikuṇṭha, I want to go to Golok. It is there. One's constitutional position, it is already fixed by nature. The soul is there in seed-like form. Just like if you have an apple or a mango seed, so you put it in the ground, you put water, and then it will sprout, and it will become an apple or a mango seed. From an apple seed you cannot get a mango tree, and from a mango tree you cannot get an apple tree. That's not possible. It is fixed. Similarly, one's Sarup is already there, but it is in seed-like form, it is dormant. So by engaging in spiritual activities under proper guidance, by the mercy of the Lord, then one's Sarup will be revealed in due course of time. So that is actually the goal of life. Atma Sakshakar, direct perception of the self. And then understanding our relationship with either Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa, and then to go to Viṣṇu-loka or Kṛṣṇaloka. So only those who don't have sufficient knowledge, those who are materialistic, they may want to go to Indraloka. They want to go to the planets of the Pitris, the forefathers, ancestors. And those, usually those who are in the mode of goodness, they will want to go to the heavenly planets. Those in the mode of passion, they may want to go to the planets of the forefathers because they are attached to the family. And those who are in mode of ignorance, they will worship the ghosts and spirits, as mentioned here also, black art. And they may go there also. But that is not the actual purpose of human form of life. Purpose of human form of life is to realize one's constitutional position and go to the spiritual world. So what is explained, if one is following the Vedic literatures especially, then one can go to the planets of the demigods or the forefathers, and even to the planets of the ghosts. That may be possible, but ultimately not desirable. And here also Prabhupada in the Purport is explaining about the worshippers of the brahma-jyotir, the impersonalists, those who say the absolute truth has no form. It is just some light, the brahma-jyotir. It is true to some extent. The absolute truth is they are actually realized in three aspects. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yajñam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdate. Vadanti tattva vidas. Vadanti tattva vidas, those who know the absolute truth, they understand, they say, tattvam yajñam advayam, that the absolute truth is advai-jnān, it is non-dual knowledge, it is transcendental knowledge. Duality is there in material world, in the spiritual world it is beyond the duality of this material world, therefore it is known as non-dual. It is not dual. But then there is spiritual duality is there. And so one aspect of the absolute truth, brahmeti, Brahma iti. Brahma means the absolute truth. Param Brahma, the supreme absolute truth, the spiritual realm. So that is the first aspect of the absolute truth, the effulgence of the spiritual world, the brahma-jyotir. It is explained in the scriptures that actually it is the effulgence of Krishna's transcendental body. Or Mahaprabhu's transcendental body, or Vishnu's transcendental body. And that is all pervading in the spiritual sky. And even it is mentioned in scriptures that, for example, the light and the sun, the light of the sun, of the moon, the stars, that is coming from the brahma-jyotir. And the material world, so ultimately everything comes from the spiritual world, from Krishna directly ultimately. So that is the first aspect. And those who want to go there by studying the scriptures, by sometimes they even worship the demigods or the Supreme Lord in order to merge in the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth. It is like a stepping stone for them. Even sometimes they chant different mantras, like even the Maha Mantra, but their goal is to become one with the absolute truth. And they may achieve that also by doing that. But that also is not a permanent situation. And this is also very difficult actually, to merge in the impersonal Brahman. So only those who are very much interested in spiritual life and so to say also highly qualified and detached from this material world and fully absorbed in studying the scriptures in order to be fixed in consciousness on the spiritual platform beyond the gross and subtle material body, the platform of the soul. But have a misconception that the soul is just part of the absolute truth, and then the soul will merge into the brahma-jyotir. So they may do so, they may go to the brahma-jyotir and so to say merge, but not completely, because by nature the soul is eternal and is part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa or Viṣṇu, always. Even when they merge in the brahma-jyotir, then they will just stay there. And then they will fall down again in this material world, sometimes, after trillions, millions and trillions, or almost so much unlimited time, you may say. And actually the jiva have fallen from there in the first place. And then to go back there, that is conditioned state. Nitya-baddha, eternally conditioned, that is one category of the souls, who are also eternal servants of Krishna but not serving Krishna. Others, they are always serving Krishna, known as Nitya-siddha, always perfect, engaging in devotional activities. So that is of practically, that is of no use. That is not the actual position. The actual position is to serve Kṛṣṇa. So, but in the brahma-jyotir, from there one cannot serve Kṛṣṇa in that conditioned state. And then others are there, the paramatmeti, the meditating on the super soul situated in everyone's heart, Viṣṇu. But even there, so some they want to then merge in Paramatma. So that is just like the Mayavadi, not much a bigger difference, almost the same. Going to the brahma-jyotir or merging in Paramatma is almost the same. Because first of all, Paramatma is only manifested in this world, in the material world. Paramatma is the Tritya Purush, the third Purush. Mahavishnu, also known as Karana-daksha Viṣṇu, and then Garbha-daksha Viṣṇu and Kṣira-daksha Viṣṇu. So these are simple expansions of Mahashankarshan when the material world is manifested. For some time it is manifested, which is practically we cannot calculate the time of the existence of this material world. Of just it is mentioned Mahavishnu when he is exhaling, then the unlimited universes are manifested, and then for millions of years they manifest, but Vishnu is inhaling and everything is entering to Vishnu. And then again exhaling, everything coming out again, inhaling, and he's breathing in and out for a long time, Mahavishnu. But at one point, okay, that's enough for Mahavishnu. And he's going back, time to go back into Mahashankarshan and let this material world be finished again. It is just a play of the Lord also, this material world. And then so Kṣira-daksha Viṣṇu is merging into Garbha-daksha Viṣṇu, Garbha-daksha Viṣṇu is merging into Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu is then entering again into Mahashankarshan, and there's no material world. And the jivas are there then in the brahma-jyotir, or they are there in the form of Vishnu. So that is also not required, that is just like a sleeping position. Not active. At that point the soul is not active. But by nature the soul is supposed to be engaged in the service of the Lord. So that is the destination where the jiva should go. So for that purpose we have to engage in spiritual activities under the guidance of the spiritual master, the representative of the Lord. And then by doing that, by being fully dedicated to the pursuit of spiritual activities, then gradually, slowly but surely one can understand one's position as spirit soul completely apart from the gross and subtle body. And then slowly but surely one's spiritual form is manifested. Not just the soul is not in the conditioned state. It is mentioned, if you have the tip of the hair, you cut it 100 times and 100 times again, that is the size of the soul, we cannot even see. By any material means, we cannot see the soul. It is so subtle. But it is mentioned in scriptures, and that is the size of the soul. But then by engaging in spiritual activities, then slowly but surely, so just like a small seed of a banyan tree, you put in the ground, you put water, and then it will grow. And then it becomes a huge tree. The banyan tree can be very, very big. And then even the branches, then they're going down. It's huge. So, but slowly but surely it is growing. Similarly, when we engage in spiritual activities, one can understand practically, not just theoretically. One can see oneself as being completely different from the gross and subtle body. And when one goes further, then ultimately one can see one's spiritual form as one of the associates of the Lord, either in Vaikuṇṭha or in Golok. In Vaikuṇṭha, many of the associates, they have 4 arms, just like Vishnu has 4 arms. So also many of the inhabitants of Vaikuṇṭha, they have 4 arms. They look very similar to Vishnu. But they're the servants of Vishnu. Whereas in Golok, so 2-armed form, Krishna is there performing his wonderful pastimes, and he associates also in that form, transcendental form, human form, just like Krishna, either male or female. Gopis are there or gopas, but then different, of course. Even animals are there and they are also perfect and complete, Satchidananda Sarup. And the trees also, the birds also, the old Satchidananda Sarup. So that ultimately has to be realized, and then one can go there to the spiritual world. And then one can engage in a transcendental loving exchange with Krishna. And that is actually perfection of life. That is desired to go there. So first of all, one must have the proper knowledge, known as sambandha jnān. One must know that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and that we belong to the spiritual world, and that we have to get out of this material world. That is a sambandha jnān in just a few words. But then we have to go further. Simply to know is not enough. But as explained, if you want to go to America, you have to have the qualification, and you must have the means to go there. You need some money also. Not only for the ticket, then they want to know how much money you have in your pocket, or you have somebody where you will stay there, you have somebody who will help you there. So you can live there and not be a burden to the government or give problem to the citizens there. So similarly also to go to Golok, so the qualification has to be there, or to go to Vaikuṇṭha. And so for that we have to engage in spiritual activities constantly. Of course, living in the material world, one has to take care of one's body also. If one is a family man, one has to take care of the family. But spiritual activities must actually be in the center. Krishna must be in the center, Vishnu must be in the center. And for that purpose, in the morning, the devotees, they get up early and they have a spiritual program. And then they may even go to work for a few hours, and then again in the evening, then they may engage in spiritual activities. And then, so, if one is doing that morning and evening, then even during the day, one may be able to remember the Lord, even while one is working. And one has a lunch break, then one will take one's lunch, and still one maybe do some extra chanting and reading. So in this way, the devotee is trying to be always absorbed in spiritual activities, while living in this world also. So that is known as abhideya, the process, by which we can realize our constitutional position, by which one can be absorbed in that, and ultimately to come to the highest stage, which is known as prayojan-jnān. When one is realized and one's love for Krishna, one's love for Vishnu will be there. It is actually there already in the heart, but it is in dormant state. But the more one becomes realized, the more one is absorbed in spiritual activities, the consciousness becomes purified, and then naturally, then the love will be there from the soul. Nothing to do with the material body and the consciousness. So there is material love also, which is based on the body and even the consciousness, the material consciousness. So we cannot say there is no love in the material world. There is some love also, but it is material. Between husband, wife, or lover or beloved, or even the parents have love for the children should also have love for the parents. So some reciprocation is there. But if Krishna is not in the center, then it is material, and it is temporary, not permanent. And that is, so that is on the, of course, ultimately coming from the consciousness, because the material body ultimately is dead matter, ultimately. Just because the soul is there, therefore it is functioning. That the gross body is functioning because of the presence of the soul. So the consciousness is there, and therefore an expression of love is there from the consciousness, and then by the speaking, one may express one's sentiments, one's feelings, and then physically it may be shown also. But that is material if Krishna is not in the center. So therefore one has to engage in spiritual activities with Krishna in the center. And then the mind, the consciousness, the senses are purified. And then the spiritual consciousness is awakened, and then the loving sentiments, they are coming ultimately then from the soul. So consciousness is the manifestation of the soul. And if one is purified in the consciousness, in pure consciousness, one can see oneself, one can see one's worshipable Lord, the Supreme Lord, and then naturally the love will be there from the heart, from the soul proper. And so it is said that the soul is situated in the heart. Actually the soul is not directly in the heart, but the soul is floating in the life airs which are within the body. But it is, of course, it is situated in the heart region. And even the Paramatma, the super soul, in the heart, we say the super soul in the heart, but not in the physical heart. The physical heart is just pumping blood in and out, and it is flesh, and whatever is there, the veins are there, and arteries coming out, and the blood is coming in and out. But the soul is transcendental to the material, to the gross body, and the super soul also. So floating in the life airs, and the consciousness is there, pervading the body. But the soul is also beyond the subtle body. So the grossest body is there, made of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So, but physically speaking, we may see the flesh is there, the bones are there, the blood is there, and so on. Mucus is there, bile is there, gross body. But the subtle body is beyond that. That is the consciousness, mind, intelligence, and then the false ego. I am a man, I'm a woman, I'm a lawyer, I'm a football player, I'm an artist, or whatever. So that is the material ego. False ego. I'm this or that. That is in the material world, but it is not the real ego, the real self. I am servant of Krishna. That is the real consciousness. That is our constitutional position. That is our real self. So that has to be realized. So by performing spiritual activities, the more one is engaged and the more one's consciousness is purified, then it is revealed. And then the love is coming from the heart, from the soul, which is situated in the heart. So therefore we say also when the love is there, we speak even in the material world when we speak from love. So the love is usually the feelings of the heart. So therefore we say we love from the heart, not from the consciousness or the brain, but from the heart. Heartfelt feelings are there. Because the soul actually is situated there ultimately in the heart region, but not in the heart of the gross body, but in the heart region. So we have to realize our real self, our spiritual existence. And when we are on that platform, then naturally the love will be there for Krishna. Pure love. And by that pure love, then Krishna will be satisfied, and there's loving exchange there. And then everything is very clear. And then we can enter Krishna's pastimes. And that is the perfection of life. Param Gati, so the highest destination, that is entering Krishna's pastimes. That is ultimately the desired goal, not to go to the planets of the demigods, the forefathers, or to speak of ghosts and hoblins or the spirits there. That is completely material and inferior. So, but one must be under proper guidance, under the guidance of the representative of the Lord, and he will help us to be properly situated, to have the proper understanding, and to have the proper guidance by which we can attain the goal, so that we can enter Krishna's pastimes. So it takes time, and so therefore we have to be always enthusiastic, one has to be fixed, and one has to be also very patient. And especially one has to be in good association and give up unwanted association. So it is quite clear how Krishna is explaining here, and Prabhupada has also explained. So as it is. So if we are in proper guidance, in proper association, then everything is very clear. As it is, we can understand. Then it is easy also to attain the goal. If you are in proper association, the association of the pure devotees of the Lord. Then spiritual life becomes much easier. And then we can make more rapid advancement towards the supreme destination. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Any questions? Yes, Prabhuji? Yes. Mike, Prabhuji there.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, yes.
Yes.
Lord Shiva is in a special category.
Lord Shiva is in a special category, yes.
And he has his own planet,
Yes.
Maheshtar.
Yes.
If one worships Lord Shiva, presumably one goes to his planet.
Yes.
And if they see him as a devotee of Krishna, then presumably they can then get an uplift
Yes.
into Krishna's pastimes.
Yes.
So his planet is not really in the planets of the demigods.
No, Lord Shiva is in a special category, but still is accepted as a demigod, but actually is the foremost of all demigods. Is most exalted, and is a special category. He is not Vishnu, but is almost as good as Vishnu, and also is not a living entity, so but is in between, known as Shiva Tattva. So whereas all the other demigods, practically all the demigods, they are Jiva Tattva. They are empowered living entities, very qualified living entities. But Lord Shiva is superior to all of them. He's even more superior than Lord Brahma. It's a special category, Lord Shiva. Yes. So, and therefore he is also, he's known as Yatha Vaishnavam Shambhu. So Lord Shiva is known as the greatest Vaishnav. He's a great Vaishnav. Yes, and also he's also a spiritual master actually. Lord Shiva. The four sampradayas, and so Lord Shiva is one of the original gurus of one of the sampradaya, the Rudra sampradaya. Having gained knowledge from Krishna himself, and then he's giving this knowledge to so many conditioned souls by which they can become liberated and be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So it's very helpful in insofar that we can, if we take shelter of him, then we can make advancement in spiritual life. And of course we take shelter of the spiritual master, and then we take shelter of Mahaprabhu and Krishna directly also. At the same time we have to be respectful towards all living entities, and especially to Lord Shiva also. Even we may be thinking, I'm worshipping my Guru and Mahaprabhu and Krishna, I don't have to care for Lord Shiva. But no, it doesn't work like this. You have to care for Lord Shiva. Because Shiva is there in every holy place and is protector of the holy Dham. So therefore even our acharyas in our sampradaya, they are showing so much respect to Lord Shiva and they're praying to him also. Vande Gopeshwaram, Vande Shankara Karunamayam, Sarva Klesharam, Devan Virindaranya Ratipradam. This is a verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, offering respect to Lord Shiva. And there's one verse by Sanatana Goswami also, and he's praying to Lord Shiva also. And he was staying always next to a temple of Lord Shiva. When he was here in Vrindavan, there's Gopeshwar Mahadev, he stayed next to him. He was staying, as we know, he worshipped Madan Mohan, and every day he was going to Gopeshwar temple till his old age, and then he was almost not able to walk. And Lord Shiva became very merciful because Sanatana Goswami couldn't come to see him. He manifested nearby, Bankant Mahadev. Yeah, so he's there. He came there also so that Lord Shiva didn't have to walk so much to take his darshan. So that Sanatana Goswami, so he could take darshan every day of Lord Shiva, he manifested there. And also when Sanatana Goswami was at Govardhan, this Chakaleshwar Mahadev is there, so he's there also protecting. And so even there Sanatana Goswami was staying next to Manasi Ganga at Govardhan. And there were many mosquitoes buzzing around, bzz, bzz, and trying to suck Sanatana Goswami's blood. Although he was so skinny, not so much flesh and blood there, but still. And so it was difficult for him to do his bhajan. When we chant Hare Kṛṣṇa and many mosquitoes they are biting, then it is a kind of botheration. So he was thinking, and he couldn't sleep nicely also at night time. He didn't sleep much, maybe 2-3 hours at the most, but still, at least a little rest he wanted. But so many mosquitoes, he thought, no, I'm not going, I'm not staying here, I'm going. And then as he was going to go, Lord Shiva, he understood. And he was thinking, no, I don't want Sanatana Goswami to leave this place. So then he came as a brahmana, and he told Lord Sanatana Goswami, don't worry, I will take care of the mosquitoes, you stay here. I was wondering how he knows that I'm bothered by the mosquitoes. But then he ultimately understood also. And so by Shiva's mercy, then the mosquitoes, they were sent away, they were going away. Even up to this day, there are not so many mosquitoes there. Still the temple is there of Lord Shiva. So there's between the great personalities, there's a very wonderful mutual understanding. And so Lord Shiva also is respected by the Vaishnavas. And even in Mayapur, Maya and Vridashiv, they are there. And actually even in Braj, in all the major places like Kamyavan, Kameshwar is there, Mahadev is there. In Mathura, Bhuteshwar Mahadev is there. So in so many forms of Lord Shiva there, protecting the Dham and helping the devotees. Vande Gopeshwaram, Vande Shankara Karunamayam. So it's the mercy manifestation of the Lord actually. Shankar Dev or even of course ultimately, so that is the Lord's mercy. Krishna Kripa Sri Murti, the Guru, is a manifestation of Krishna's mercy. So Lord Shiva also is Guru and is manifestation of Krishna's mercy. And so then in this way, so if we then Sarva Klesharam Devan, so if we take shelter of him, so then all the difficulties which may be there in our life, they are destroyed. He's taking away Lord Shiva. Any problem we have, Lord Shiva can take it away. Vrindaranya Rati Pradam, Rati. So attraction, affection, love for Braj, for Vrindavan, that we can get by his mercy. Just like, for example, with Krishna, the relationship is there, known as Sakya Ras or Vatsalya Ras. Ras means transcendental mellow in the loving exchange. We cannot taste that in the conditioned state. Although the ras, the taste is there in material world, like sweetness, like in the foodstuffs, sweetness, bitter, astringent, salty, like that. These are there. So some manifestation of some ras is there, but the real ras, mellow, transcendental taste is in relationship with Krishna, that we cannot immediately taste. But slowly but surely when the consciousness is purified, then some loving attraction, affection will be there towards Krishna. That is known as rati. So this loving affection, attraction towards Krishna, that is known as rati in the higher stages, towards Krishna. And then when we are in loving exchange with Krishna, then it becomes ras. So therefore first we say dasya rati, madhurya rati, sakya rati, when we realize our relationship with Krishna. But then we cannot be in the loving exchange with Krishna in the pastime. Only when we are in the pastime with Krishna, the loving exchange, then it is fully manifest, the loving exchange, and it is known as ras. So this transcendental love towards the holy Dham, towards Krishna, that can be attained by the mercy of Lord Shiva or the spiritual master. So therefore we have so much respect for Lord Shiva, and actually in 1 week we are observing Shivaratri. Of course, maybe not so much in ISKCON, but amongst the Brijbasis, even amongst the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, actually they observe Shivaratri. Even they usually, they will fast half a day, and they will only take Ekadashi Prasad. Just like for Vishnu's appearance, we take Ekadashi Prasad. And even for those Vaishnavas who have deep respect and understanding for Lord Shiva, so they will actually take Ekadashi Prasad on Shivaratri day also, just like for Vishnu or Advaitacharya. And then, so that is on 19th, the Shivaratri. 18th, well 18th actually, it is 18th evening, you see it is like this. Because two conceptions are there. For example, the Tithi, the lunar day, it may start in the evening on the 18th, maybe by 5 o'clock. So the Chaturdasi Tithi, the 14th day of the dark fortnight before Amavasya, that may start on 18th evening, maybe 5 o'clock. And then, so then they will say Shivaratri, Chaturdasi is their night time, 18th. But then the Tithi, the Chaturdasi Tithi will touch the sunrise of the 19th. So therefore we fall on the 19th because it is touching the sunrise. And then we observe Shivaratri on the 19th. So therefore sometimes there's difference between the Brijbasis and our understanding, slight difference. So the Brijbasis may observe on 18th, but we observe on 19th. So we follow our acharyas, especially Sanatana Goswami also has explained in Hari Bhakti Vilas, that how we should follow Ekadashi Vrat Janmashtami according to when the Tithi is touching the sunrise. Whereas others, the Smata Brahmanas, following the Vedic injunctions, they may follow when the Tithi is there, like Janmashtami, Tithi. So when it is there during the day, they will observe that. But we have to see when it is touching the sunrise. So some small technical difference of understanding is there. So that is the situation. So, and then on that day we may take darshan of Shivji, and then we may get his mercy also. And also sometimes mentioned that is presiding deity of the ego. So we want the real ego. I'm the servant of Krishna. The false ego, I'm something of this world, we should give up. Even sometimes as a devotee, the false ego is there. I'm a big book distributor. I'm the president. So, but we may be in that position, but we should be on the transcendental plane. I am very insignificant servant of the Lord. So, but even then as a devotee, so we have to be careful and not be influenced by the false ego. But we should be on the platform of the real ego. I am an infinitesimal spiritual being, completely apart from the gross and subtle body, and the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Kṛṣṇa. That is our position. So that is the real ego. So Lord Shiva, if we pray to him, we can be nicely situated in the real ego. And so that is there. So we have respect for Lord Shiva as a special personality. He is not directly Vishnu, but almost like Vishnu, as mentioned in the Brahma Samhita, just like you have milk and yogurt. So yogurt is also just like milk, but it is transformed. So Lord Shiva is considered to just like yogurt, and Vishnu is the milk. So very special category, Shiva Tattva. So above the jivas, so above all the demigods, who are practically always, mostly they are jivas, the demigods. Only sometimes when there's no qualified person to become Lord Brahma, then Lord Vishnu is becoming Lord Brahma also, sometimes. If there's no qualified person to be Lord Indra, then one of the Vishnu avatar will take the form of Lord Indra. And so, that is the situation. If Lord Shiva sometimes wants a break from his position, then even sometimes Vishnu is taking his position also. That is explained. Okay, we'll stop here. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So there's some Mahaprasad for all of you.